Okay, shalom, shalom, kwam yashala, koholoimla, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. I just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwa that's out here, sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Achanan the Waf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And saw this article. Thought it would be about a spirit go off into there's no such thing as mixed race or biracial. We have to keep hammering that, because we're doing a lot of back to the basic lessons. And one of the things that you must learn when you first come into this truth is that there's no such thing as a biracial person or multiracial person or mixed is what, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, calls it. Because that word biracial, it really only goes back to, coming into strong play back in the 1970s. So it's really about a generation old as far as that statement. And before that, of course, in the ancient world and in, other Eastern countries, people know that your seed line goes by your dad. Whatever your dad is, that's exactly what you are. It's no such thing as mixed people. So when I saw this article, it says mixed race people really are more attractive. Study confirms stars like Kim Kardashian and Zayn Malik, if I'm pronouncing this guy's name right, are rated as better looking. It's basically because they got that little melanin, so to speak, because that melanin is, it used to be a thing of being something that was looked down upon, and you have a lot of Africans and a lot of our people, man, they get off into bleaching their skin and trying to get rid of the dark skin color, and trying to turn themselves white and throwing on blonde wigs and throwing in contacts, blue eyes, and all kinds of weirdo shit, when they should just, respect the fact that, they have the better gene anyway, because those are recessive genes, man, that the so-called white man has that everybody is, really pushing for. I know I was watching the elder here in Detroit from GMS. He done a video. It was yesterday, I think it was, entitled something to the extent of who made leprosy, basically who made leprosy gorgeous, because pretty much overall the so-called white race, they have what you call clean leprosy. That's all that is. Those are recessive genes. When you see the blue eyes, the green eyes, the blonde hair, those are recessive genes. Those are not good genes to have, But anyway, in scriptural, that's a curse basically from the Lord. Okay, but it says from Kim Kardashian to Zayn Malik, if I'm pronouncing this guy's name right, many of the most glamorous stars in Hollywood are mixed race. Now, a study has confirmed that mixed people really are more attractive. Researchers from a Chinese university in Hong Kong asked Asian and Caucasian participants to rate photos of people across a range of categories. Now, Hong Kong is no different than a U.S. city, pretty much. Those people, those so-called Chinese people, man, they don't want nothing to do with their culture. They speak English. They don't want nothing to do with Chinese culture at all. They really just want to be Americans, straight up. So they do a lot of, even they have like surgeries and stuff like that in that area where they don't want the slanted eyes. They have surgeries where their eyes are more rounded out. And that happens a lot in those in Asian countries, because even they want to have that so-called white look, right? Okay, but it says the results reveal that mixed race people were not only rated as more attractive, but also more trustworthy, intelligent, and likely to be successful than others. Biracial images trigger more positive social judgments via enhanced trustworthiness and attractiveness, the team wrote in their study. Okay, they have another article that says mixed race relationships are making us taller and smarter. Children born to genetically diverse parents are more intelligent than their ancestors. Okay, that's another article. Not going to get into that one. But this is an ongoing, thing that people are talking about, man. The 2021, they had a UK census revealed that mixed race is the third largest and fastest growing ethnic minority group in the UK. So we've been saying all along, a lot of articles have been coming out that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's dying off quicker than he's being born. And that's where you get what they call the replacement theory, so to speak. If you're familiar with this guy that shot up the supermarket in Buffalo, New York, the so-called white guy. That's one of the reason why he basically killed all the so-called black people in the supermarket. He was one of those people that believed in replacement theology, where he's feeling as if as the white race, they're being replaced. When what he should have been doing, he was a young so-called white man too, about 20, 21, 22, something like that. He should have been pumping up some of his women. If he felt like they were dying off, he could have hit about 10, 12, 15, 20 of them so-called white women and had some babies, put some babies out here. But now your ass is in jail. You're not producing nothing in there. You're going to have a man on man, hook up where he went. But anyway, let's get some more, right? It says, some predictions even estimate that by the end of the century, roughly 1 in 3 of the UK population would be mixed race, with this figure rising to 75% by 2150. And see how these people think? 2150? Ain't gonna be no fucking 2150. We gonna go back to the Hebrew calendar. You won't know nothing as no 2150, but it shows you how proud these people are. They really think that this state of their kingdom is gonna continue to go on 2150. You know how fucking proud you gotta prideful you gotta be to try and project some shit like that. But that's Esau, man. Okay, it says, despite these figures, there has been surprisingly little research into how people perceive mixed race faces in different cultures. Writing their study published in Evolutionary Psychology, the researchers led by X.T. Wang explained, although race may not be an evolutionary default variable for social perception, racial features can be used as cues of social categorization, intergroup relationships, likely coalitional cooperations, and genetic interbreedability. For the study, the team enlisted 227 participants from the U.S. and 116 participants from China. The participants were shown 7 pairs of faces, 1 female, 1 male in each pair. That ranged from 100% Asian to 100% Caucasian, including morphed biracial composites of 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, and 70% Caucasian or Asian. So you can see this picture right here. That looks stupid as hell. You got the so-called white guy, and you got the so-called Chinese guy, and if they were mixed, you know what I'm saying, together, you got this blended, this 50-50 composite. But come on, man. And again, I don't want to go too much further in it, but they did have this right here too as well. Let me just read on a little bit more. For each image, the participants were asked to rate the people shown for attractiveness, trustworthiness, health, intelligence, and career prospects. The results revealed that across all 5 categories, biracial faces were rated the highest. While the reason for these findings remains unclear, the researchers suggest that it may have an evolutionary basis. Biracial facial cues indicate that 2 parents from different biological groups could interbreed successfully, probably cooperated in raising offspring together, and may have even received alloparental support and assistance from one or both of their groups of origin, the team wrote. Thus, biracial features might carry rich information about the evolutionary, genetic, and taxonomic relationships between their parental groups and their capacity for parental and group cooperation. Okay, well, yeah, there you have it. Now, here's a video as well. I want to play this. This is like 27 seconds long. And I'm not sure what nationality these people are. They could be Israelites or they could be whatever. You know what I'm saying? But as you can clearly see, one of the babies are darker and one of the babies are lighter. And, they're twins. And, we understand this is how Esau and Jacob, an illustration as far as Esau and Jacob would be. Now, Esau came out red, but Jacob, he came out with that brown skin. If you go into it, those that have ears to hear. The curse of Cain, you know what I'm saying, was that melanin being stripped from him. Because you have to really think about it. The so-called white race, why would they be the only race on the planet with no melanin? Why would they be the only ones that's out here, that's getting all the skin cancers and need damn sunscreen and all these different things, if they were so righteous, so to speak, But anyway, let's play the video and I'll grab a couple of scriptures and just end out.
Everybody's shocked, really. People will stop you anyway when they see you've got a double pram, because everyone just seems to love twins. And then when they notice, they're just like, oh, are they twins? And I'm like, yeah. Like, oh wow, like one's dark, one's light. They're like, that's so unusual. I've never seen that before. Everyone just seems to be.
She's having a little sing-song.
Everyone just seems to be really shocked. I think not many people have seen, obviously, twins.
No,
exactly.
Okay, and there you have it. And that guy, he appears to be like Ishmael or something like that, but it's not a skin color thing. We can't go off into skin color. It's a nationality thing. If you come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are an Israelite. If you come from Abraham, Isaac, and Esau, you are an Edomite. It's real simple, man. Your seed line goes by your dad. And that guy, he appears, he could be an Elamite, though. And those Elamites, those East Indians, they're pretty dark. So if he were to, it would be the same way as if a so-called black man were to get with a so-called white woman. If you put one of those East Indians with a so-called white woman, as dark as they are, they're going to come out with pretty much that fair hair, but they're going to come out dark. Some of them, they'll have that darker color, and you won't even really know who they are. You won't know what that child is, what I'm saying, with that particular, what they would say mix, because basically that child will be taking attributes from the mother and from the father, but the seed goes through the father. It's actually what the dad is, you know what I'm saying? And the mother has nothing to do with it. He's the one that's with the seed, and she's like the earth that the seed is being planted in. So she, gives that seed nutrients. It's just like going in your backyard and planting something. If you plant some tomatoes or cucumbers or watermelon, whatever you plant, squash, whatever it is, whatever that seed is, that's exactly what that ground is going to produce. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, different places, the soil may be different, so the seed may come out differently. That's why you may have, like, because the Lord got varieties. Say, for instance, you got apples. You got green apples. You got red apples. You got yellowish looking apples. You got small apples. You got big apples. You got bush apples. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with roses. You got red roses, yellow roses, white roses. Same thing with, any other thing that's out here. That goes from, like, even plant animals of a certain extent. You got birds. Shit, it's all different kinds of birds. All birds are not the same bird. You got a red bird, the cardinals, you got blue jays, you got, what I'm saying? You got black crows, you know what I'm saying? So the Lord, he does it like that. But whatever that particular bird is, and they lay an egg, hey, that's what the bird gonna come out being. A damn cardinal is not gonna lay no blue jay egg, or, you get what I'm saying? Or, for better saying on it, a lion, overall, a lion is not going to even, not going to have no sex with a damn panther. But, when a lion lays, it could be a lion from a different region, but they're still just lions, or, you get what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to make it seem all difficult, because it's not a difficult thing to think on. It's really very simple. This is how the process goes right here. This is Numbers chapter 1. Now, as far as these other nations, we already know, as far as the other nations, it's the same thing. They may want to say that, there's some mix or some bio, whatever the case may be. But in our history, we go by the seed line of our father. We know for a fact that the father carries the seed because the sperm is within him, and that sperm is already children. It just needs to go into some ground to be planted, to be brought forth with some nutrients. That's it. Right? So Numbers chapter 1, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation, on the first day of the second month, in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, Take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers, with the number of their names, every male by their poll. See? So it says the house of your fathers. You see? Every male by their polls. Not the house of your mothers, every female by their polls. The seed goes through the father. That's why you'll see the genealogies, these long genealogies in the scriptures. Such and such begot such and such. Even like in the book of Matthew. You know, the very first book of Matthew, when you go off into the genealogy of our Lord, Yahweh, which the word ignorantly calls Jesus, it gives you all his fathers, his grandfathers, and great-grandfathers, and great-great-grandfathers, and great-great-great-great-grandfathers. Why? Because it's good. The seed line goes through your father. That's why it speaks on Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, not Abigail, Isabella, and Jessica. I mean, come on, man. It's really simple. Verse 18, though. As a matter of fact, if you look right here, it starts to name off all the tribes, all the men, right? Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, Benjamin, Dan, Asher, Gad, Naphtali. These are the 12 sons of Israel, or Yasharallah in the Hebrew tongue. He is a prince of the power, because Jacob's name was changed to Israel. These are his 12 sons. This is where our lineage flows through the men. That's why when a man gets married to a woman, she takes on his name. He doesn't take on her name. Now, you got here in the Americas where, you got these actors and actresses, motherfuckers keep their own names because they're an actor or something, whatever, but other than that, it's generally, when a woman gets married, she takes on the man's name that she gets married to. So if a man was to have a son, that son is going to always have that same last name. But if he has a daughter, her name is going to be the same as his until she gets married to another man, and then her name's changed to the man that she married, and she takes on the name of that man's household. It's simple, man. But verse 18 is the point that I wanted to get. Numbers 1 and 18, and as they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So your pedigree, which is going off into your ancestry or family tree or your lineage, it goes by the house of your father. Can't get around it, man. I mean, it's very simple. But here in the Americas, everything is backwards. The so-called white man, he is, because this is Babylon the Great. It's all confusion. That word Babel goes off into confusion. America's a very confused place. Very, very confused. Look at people on the streets these days, man. Look at your children, shit, and the curriculum that they're learning in these schools, man. These people, I'm not gonna even go into it, but I mean, it's pretty bizarre world out here in America. Everything is weird as hell. It's backwards as hell. Whatever this man says good is actually bad, and whatever he says bad is actually good. Everything is flipped upside down, man. This is the man as the Lord said male and female should come together and produce. This man is telling you that shit a man and a man can come together and do it. Or a woman and a woman. You know what I'm saying? Everything that this man does goes against the scriptures, man. So of course he's gonna tell you about biracial. You know what I'm saying? Because what that does is it gives the women that power. That feminist type of power, and if you notice here in the Americas, who's the one that, takes the kids? In the scriptures, it don't go that way. If a woman want to get up and bounce and want to leave, no, you don't leave with the kids. You leave, you take your ass on. You're not leaving with my seed. That's not scriptural, man. But what does the so-called white man allow her to do? He allows her to take the babies, put your ass on child support. You know what I'm saying? So, you have to even be careful, man, in the Americas dealing with these women, man. For real. These American women, Babylon the Great, and that shit spreading throughout the world. That's the reason why those Eastern countries, Iran and all them different, they don't want nothing to do with America. They already know. You come in with that democracy shit, next thing you know, your people turn into crackheads and your women turn into whores. That's the American way. As soon as they start with that democracy shit, as soon as they come in talking about we want to free you, you're being oppressed. Women should be able to drive. Women should be able to do this. Women should be able to go and work. Women should be able to do that. Next thing you know, she's got a work husband. And next thing you know from there, she's somewhere getting, shit. She's in the back storage room and shit, getting some things done to her. Anyway, just wanted to touch on this real quick. Another, I thought it was an interesting article, you know what I'm saying? But, of course, there's no such thing as mix. You come into this truth, you have to get rid of that out of your mind. Get rid of that mix by race. Get rid of everything that the so-called white man told you to begin with. Matter of fact, let me get one more scripture. Let's get this Micah 2 and 10. Salakia. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword of destruction. You have to arise and come out of this place spiritually. Everything that you've ever learned in this place, when you come into this truth, you have to get rid of, throw in the trash. You can't keep any of it. It's all poison, man. Be refreshed, be renewed, be, reborn with the real truth of these scriptures that, the Lord has blessed our apostles and elders, of GMS, to give to us, man. They've given us great teachings. And go off into it and read the precepts for yourself, and you'll see. Because it's common sense. It's really, when I was growing up, it was kind of taught back then when I was growing up, But I know, school curriculum is a lot different now, because those are fairly new terms. Like I said, biracial, multiracial, mixed, those terms weren't used like how they're being used now before 1970 something. I think maybe 74, 7 through 76 or something like that, when one professor at a college or whatever, that was, it was a woman too, as a matter of fact, came up with that bullshit, But your seed line goes through your father, man. So let's, just keep that in mind. That's something that you really have to learn when you come into this truth. That's why, and the reason why it's important too as well, is that because it's not a look thing. Don't get off into these Hebrew Israelite groups that's talking about Negro only Israelites. Hebrew Israelites are going to look like every people under the sun, because we've been scattered to every people under the sun. And the men of our nation have laid and have sex with these women of the other nations. And as time goes on, generation to generation goes on, the color is lost, the features are lost, so to speak, so on and so forth. So, but they're still Israelites. Why? Because that seed of that man comes from an Israelite. It don't make no difference. They may look white. They may look Chinese. They may look Japanese. They may look shit like Kim Kardashian, or damn Armenian, or or damn whatever. It's not a color thing. You can't get that. You can't get this with no color, man. It's not. It has absolutely nothing to do with no color. But see, what the so-called white man does is he try and paint us in a real dark light by saying black Hebrew Israelites. But when you look at the camps, it's all kinds of brothers in the camps. When you see the brothers on the highways and byways, there's brothers in the camps that look like so-called white men, so-called Chinese, so-called, they're not talking about the so-called Puerto Rican or the so-called Mexican or the so-called, Native American Indian that's in the camps and stuff like that, man. The camps are deep with all nationalities. I mean, as far as the Israelites, as far as the 12 sons of Israel, it's all types of all the camps have different brothers from different tribes in them, man. So for them to just say black, that's them putting a negative connotation on us and trying to make us seem as if they try and demonize us with that bullshit. It's not a color thing, man. So get that shit out of your head. When you come into this truth, know that you just teach the scriptures, right? You teach the scriptures. You don't look at somebody and say, "Oh, you look like a so-called white man," and tell them to get up the street. You don't do that, because you could be turning away an Israelite, because the scripture says to let me see if I can find it real quick. If the spirit bear witness with their spirit, they could be an Israelite. Romans 8:16, the spirit itself beareth witness with our spirits that we are the children of God. So if they hear these scriptures coming out, they could very well be an Israelite if the scriptures resonate with them. Because it's the scriptures, that matter of fact, when you get that Hebrews 4:12, what does it say? For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So the Lord, he knows the spirits on the people. He knows who's an Israelite and who's not. He's going to pull in the elect of Israel. And all the elect of Israel are not going to look like fucking Wesley Snipes, man. That's common sense. So be careful when you're out and about and you're teaching and you just looking at somebody and they appear to be something that they're not. Matter of fact, I went to the phone store yesterday, check on my bill, some shit, went up on it. I didn't know why. So I walk in and I check. And of course, it's Ishmael in there. You know what I'm saying? The damn Arabs, right? They running the spot, and it's a car in there, A guy, he's so-called Mexican. I didn't even know hell because he looked just like them. So he seen me. I had on this poncho, like a really nice handmade poncho I found at a thrift store. So when he seen it, it automatically resonated with him, you know what I'm saying? So, as I'm walking away, he was like, yeah, I know you, in case I don't see you no more, you know what I'm saying? Happy Cinco de Mayo. So, I was able to, kick it with him for a hot sec, It's like, nah, man, he was talking about the Day of the Dead and all that shit. I said, nah, I broke down to him that he's an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar. I told him stop celebrating those idolatrous holidays. Cut into him, about, hey, the people that colonized us gave us these names. You're not Mexican, bro. You're an Israelite. Because he was talking about, yeah, I believe in God, and he was. I was like, well, what God? You know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, well, I don't have to read the Bible to believe in God. I'm like, nah, bro, you got to get into the Bible, the scriptures, because that's your history. But it was that poncho that he seen, but that was all by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because they had been overcharging me at this place for months. And it just dawned on me yesterday, like, let me go up here and let me see what's popping, because it kept hitting me, my ass being, I had to repent, you know what I'm saying, being basically lazy about it. But it was all by the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because man's goings of the Lord, because it worked out perfectly. I can remember when I bought the poncho and haven't even wore it like that. Real nice one. Handmade. I know it was handmade. When I seen it in the thrift store, it was $10. I'm like, oh shit, fuck that, man. Let me see if I can fit it. I ended up trying it on right there on the spot. I grabbed it up, you know what I'm saying? And I wear it here and there, you know what I'm saying? But it's a really nice one. Nice, however they make them, you know what I'm saying? It's not no plastic or no shit like that. I'm talking about like one of those really nice ones, like the quilt. How they kind of, the process of welding it together, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? When they doing all the threads and stuff like that. But it's a real nice one. So when he seen it, he thought that I was, one of him. So he was probably looking at me, from my skin complexion, so to speak, because hell, there are so-called Mexicans, my skin color, that, that look my color as well. So he was probably thinking that, I was one of him, and I'm thinking that he's a damn Ishmaelite or Arab, because he in there looking just like them, because he had the dark black hair, and come to find out, you know what I'm saying, he was like, nah, man. I said, well, what nationality are you? He said, well, I'm Mexican. So it was a quick little. I chopped it up with him for about 2 minutes, like a quick 1-2, boom, boom, boom. You an Israelite? You from tribe of Issachar, whatever. Your colonizers gave you that name. We are Israelites. The Lord's coming soon, and boom, I was out of the store. And guess what? Issachar gave me the discount. Issachar broke my bill down, gave me a discount and everything. The damn Ishmaelite standing there looking like he know he had been, because he was the last one I talked to when I came in. He looking stupid as hell. Couldn't do nothing but put his head down and walk away. You know what I'm saying? But shit, it's a correct. He hit me off real quick, man. Sent me a quick text. He was like, yeah, man, your bill gonna be this now, man. Sorry about that. But anyway, it's not a skin color thing, man. So don't get all off into the skin color thing, because again, it could be a so-called white person that's standing before you, or appears to be a so-called white person, Salakia. That could be standing before you, and you have to inquire. You have to ask them, well, hey, you know what your dad is? You know what your grandfather is? You got any history on, you know what I'm saying? Maybe your uncles, something. You're trying to get into it, and you test the spirit. You have to test their spirit, man. And then you just let them know, hey, look, man, you could be a Hebrew Israelite. Try, look into it, or if these spirits, if the scriptures resonate with your spirit, because it's gonna come out. The elect can't fight. I don't give a fuck what they looking like. The elect are gonna wake up, man. The Lord is dealing with the elect of Israel, and they can come out looking like fucking Joe Biden. But if they're Israelites, they're not going to be able to shake it, man. They're going to be called in because they're predestined to be called in. You see what I'm saying? So, just, work it from that angle. You don't have to be all on, we understand you have that zeal when you first come in this truth, We all have it. You be pissed and shit, you know what I'm saying? You anything looking like a damn Edomite, you want to just cut up. But everybody that look like that is not that, man. So just keep that in mind, man. So I just wanted to just chop this. These types of articles, man, is really good for back to the basic type lessons, man, because we have to go back to the basics. You know, I know there's a lot of prophecy going on, but we have to go to the basics because there are a lot of newcomers that's coming in this truth, man, and they need to know these things. You know, as they because it's a building for them, it's a building block for them. They're being built up. This is milk. They need that milk. You know what I'm saying? So they can move on to the meat stage. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwam Yashala.